Hello and welcome. Today is Friday, April 17th, and it would be, I think, an A day. And I know I started a tradition of talking about reading, but you guys have been doing this for like 3 weeks, and I think you need a break. So for today's video, I figured Henry and I would do something a little bit more fun and attempt doing some drawing on video. So I have no clue how this is going to turn out. And I haven't really done any like regular drawing in a long time other than the random drawings I do on my whiteboard for the sake of, my students' enjoyment. So who knows, maybe this will be a complete failure or it'll be highly entertaining. Maybe somewhere in the middle. Let's find out, shall we? Okay, so I've been meaning to do this for a very long time, and I haven't been able to for various reasons. One, of course, is the fact that this whole distance learning thing is really time consuming on my end because, I am trying to plan what I can do to make work that is manageable for my students, but also has some sort of value. On top of that, I'm also trying to teach my son, who's 9 and in the 4th grade, and helping him with his work while also working with my wife and helping her create stuff for her students and teaming with her to manage our incredibly, we'll say, energetic daughter, Joey, who loves to run around rearranging things, climbing on top of things, and jumping off of things. So, trying to set aside time to draw hasn't really happened. And trying to figure out a way to capture drawing and making a video out of it has really not happened. So I really don't even know if this is going to work. I might record all of this and have to throw it all away, but we'll see. Hopefully it'll work. I'm not even sure if this is even being captured correctly right now. I can't even see what's being recorded, but we'll see. I think I can kind of get like a little bit of a reflection on something that I can kind of make out what's being recorded. I get a feeling that I'm gonna have to flip this somehow in editing, but we'll see. So if you can see all of this, some basics of what I have. This cup is like my little garbage cup that I keep on my desk. These are Post-its of notes throughout, keeping track of what students I've tried to make contact with, whom I haven't heard from, little notes about things I want to, cover in videos and things like that. I also put pencil shavings in there when I sharpen pencils. Basic drawing pencils. I usually try to use 2H or 2B, which is like fairly medium, I think, in terms of, weight for pencils. Assorted drawing pens that I've picked up over years. Part of these are probably dried out because it's been a while, but hopefully you can see. I prefer finer points typically, but again, it's been a long time since I've physically drawn in something. Erasers, I like these types of erasers. The gummy erasers tend to just smudge and smear stuff, so they can be good for certain applications, but for what I do, they can be kind of annoying. And Bristol board is what I prefer to draw on when I actually do draw because it's a thicker weight. It holds up to being erased and it holds up to having ink put on it because it doesn't bleed through. And that's it. Now, this was a new pad that I ordered off of Amazon in the hopes of being able to do stuff like this. So there's only one thing that I've begun to sketch in it. Now, a couple of quick things. I've never been taught how to draw. I taught myself. And, because of that, there are some weird quirks to the way I draw. So I apologize for that, but we'll see what we can manage here. And this thing is a little clicker that I can push a button and it controls my phone through Bluetooth and hopefully can record without me having to reach at it and have that annoying thing happen. All right, so let's see. Oh, pencil sharpener. Move stuff out of the way here. Yeah, somebody had asked for a Raptor. I started attempting to draw a raptor. So I did listen. You know who you are. I am trying to draw a raptor for you. There you go. Now, I would love to be able to like have some of my drawings from years ago when I actually was drawing more frequently to show you those, because I'm sure those are going to look better than whatever I come up with now. But those are still in my classroom, which I can't access. And that's unfortunate. Oh, mechanical pencil. I think it's Zebra brand. I'll probably use this just because it's even finer than the pencils I have. And for now, I think it'll be easier for me to erase. And that's what I'll try. So I think for today, and as quickly as possible, I'm going to attempt to draw. I think I'm going to go with Wolverine. You know, he's a pretty classic Marvel Comics hero. And typically I draw Western style comics figures. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm going to try to do it in a more step-by-step basis than I normally would draw in the past, so that hopefully people who are watching this can pick up some of those things and see how I do it. And in case you're wondering, this is part of the tripod, that weird random shape there. But let's see what happens. All right, so I usually start with a head and a circle for that, because I think that's a good place to get proportion from and perspective in terms of drawing your figure. So, I'll just do a circle over here somewhere. Boom, head. And, I'm not really thinking too well about the size of this pad. It's a weird shaped pad than what I normally use. So I got to get used to that. Wolverine is a short character in the comics. He's like 5'4" or something like that. So he's a pretty small dude. I think a lot of people don't realize that because of the X-Men movies where they had Hugh Jackman playing him, and Hugh Jackman's like 6'1". So people have this weird concept of him. We'll do another like circular shape for the central. I don't know why I'm doing this because you can't see that. The part of his like torso here, right? And we'll try to, that's more of a shape there. So we'll do some center lining here to get an idea where he's facing. And from here, I like to put a little spot here. And this is like the center point of your collarbone, right? And then we can kind of like, just a simple like wavy line here. That would be like your collarbone action. And let's add a jawline for him. Like that. It's got a pretty manly jaw. Do the back of the skull here, and the neck and the trapezius muscles there. There we go. Usually this jawline looks a little bit too big. We'll put it up like that. And then real simple, add in some neck muscle there. And now we have a basic start here for our figure. Let's start adding in some stuff here. His pecs. I can't have a superhero without that, so get those going. And from there, now we can build off with our shoulders. And, a lot of things are going to be basic circular shapes. So our deltoids here. And, the good thing about using a pencil is if you make a mistake and you don't like it the way it looks, you can erase it or, redo it. Now, from there, I'm going to try to build off into the outline for the like rib cage and serratus muscles, which are those muscles that go off on the sides of your abs here. So we'll build off of that. There we go. It's looking kind of stiff, which I'm not too happy with, but whatever. Look at that, and then Start putting in the abdominal muscles. Some obliques here. And we have most of the torso pretty much done. Now, because of what's going to be overlapping, I usually don't do like the lat muscles yet, on the sides of the back. Those are those muscles you see on bodybuilders and people who have done a lot of weightlifting that kind of looks like wings coming off the sides of the back. I usually try to do the arms first because those are going to be over it. And, Wolverine, he's pretty jacked, so we'll add those in. All right. Now, the way I'm doing it now, where I'm actually just doing the shape, isn't really a great idea. What I should have done is try to draw out the skeletal line here, so that way I know that I'm got my proportions right. So that stick figure action I've got going on here is a good way to do it when you're learning or getting used to it. Now, because I've drawn this so many times, I'm kind of used to it. I have some muscle memory in terms of drawing, so that's why I do that. It's a bad habit I have, but once again, because I am self-taught, I've kind of developed those bad habits. And then we'll give him his hand here. And he usually wears the gloves. So, one arm done. Now I can come back in and start adding in muscle over here. Finish that off. And this one, I'm gonna have him with his arm up, and his fist like that, because frankly, it's easy right now to do that quickly. Right, so building off of it again, I try to make sure that things are, relatively lined up. And again, I'm eyeballing it, but you could do stuff like this to make sure that if it's all in the same perspective and you're not doing some kind of crazy forced perspective thing, which, I'll try to do later, like in another video or something, or maybe quickly over here. So things are relatively lined up. You can use your pencil just straight across so that you can kind of get that effect. Here I'm going to be doing some foreshortening, very, very basic foreshortening, just to give the effect of the arm up, and then I'll start doing the fist here, one finger at a time for the most part. And, eventually what starts to happen is you realize with a couple of lines, you can really create a lot of illusion here. So just doing those little squiggle lines to make it look like these knuckles, goes a long way. And there, now we've got him with one arm up. Let's see, I guess from here, get the idea of where his pelvis would be. And then again, same thing with the arm line, using those sticks as a guide. For the hips and legs, similar concept. Which obviously I didn't space my paper out well enough because I'm running out of space. I won't be able to finish it. But there's a general rule I've discovered here. After years of reading comics and stuff like that, the inner part of the leg, when you're drawing legs, is almost a straight line, and the outer part has these basic curves. Right now, clearly, I just did that quickly to make it obvious what I'm talking about, but Again, inner part straight, outer part with those curves. And, you know, doing it quickly like that doesn't look too, I don't know, accurate, but if you look at it quickly, you get the general idea. So if I were to actually go and add the muscles in, I'll put a kneecap in here and some calf muscle here. You know, you can see how you get that basic idea of the straight line and then why you get this like curving line here. And the same concept for this other leg. Get that inner one that comes in. And then here, this leg is going to be a little bit foreshortened based on where it is. And then you'd have your knee over here. I'm just gonna draw a circle there because I'm realizing I messed up somewhere. Inner of the calf, and that would be going down like that. So I'm gonna start rushing through because I think I'm like really long on time here. So let's see if I can quickly add some details to this and make it come together. Let's see, I think it's been a long time. I don't know if Wolverine's costume even looks like this anymore. Now, for the face, start adding in that eyebrow ridge, cheekbone, like a little bit of a lower lip there. You usually start with like the brows for the general idea of where the eyes will be. And the nose. Little character lines there. The ear would be these mask lines. All right, and a very basic, quick Wolverine. Do some shading in there. Now, I said something about like foreshortening and stuff, and I'll try to do it over here super quick because I think I'm like well past 15 minutes. Again, I'm gonna start with circles though, and I'm gonna do this one super quick. So let's say I wanna draw him, but with like his fist coming forward. I'm gonna draw the fist first. And again, I'm starting with the basic shapes. Right, there's his fist. He's got his forearm behind that. And then behind that's gonna be the upper part, this part of the arm, right? And then shoulder. And then connected to that would be, the traps and then, the chest. So let's put his head somewhere over here. And because the fist is closer to us, that's why the fist looks bigger. And then let's put this arm over here. And he's got this arm out to the side. Let's change this one ever so slightly. Again, super quick. Like he's like, Now we can start to quickly throw in some details here. Now let's add in a leg. All right, and real quick, just some basic foreshortening. All right, so not the shortest of video, and not my best, but it's a drawing, and maybe I'll try to do more of these depending on feedback from students and other people who watch it. I'll hopefully, after I watch this, figure out a better setup, and maybe turn it into a series where I can start to put a little bit more effort into it and explain how I draw and tips for drawing. Hope everyone's doing well. I want to say that, to every student out there that's engaged in distance learning, you guys are doing amazing under these circumstances. It's an unbelievable task that you're all engaged in, and the level of perseverance and tenacity you're all showing is commendable at the minimum and phenomenal at best. I mean, you guys are amazing, and hope everyone's doing well. Till next time, let's see if I can find my clicker, and let's see if it works. Bye. It didn't work.